Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to this week. And gosh, darn it, what a week we had. What a week. We saw some very, very volatile markets. We did have a good end to the week though. That's always fun. But as usual, lately we are going to start off the show with Wealthsimple. So those of you who maybe know or don't know, Wealthsimple currently has a contest on where you get to spin a gold coin for entries every day. They're giving away 15 gold coins. I think in total the 15 coins are worth about $100,000. But you can win up to 100,000 entries each day into this contest. So far, I have not been doing well. My best has been 190. I did spin yesterday, and yesterday I quite literally I got about 80. That was it. So I have not been having a good time with this Wealthsimple contest, but we're back live on the air. That means I can spin live on the show and see if we can revive Streamer Luck. So far, Streamer Luck has been a myth. A complete myth. All right, just give me a second here. I just need to open this up. Hello, come on. Ah, seriously? I had it quite literally. There we go. I had it opened a second ago. All right, so let's turn it around. So at the bottom of the home page, you got this little gold coin on Wealthsimple. So we're going to spin it. Let's do it. Oh, here we go. It spun. And today we have earned 170. Really? Can't you even give me 200? Oh my gosh. Well, I got 170 entries today. I'm going to put this over here where there's no chance it could get knocked over. 170 entries. Oh my gosh. So guys, if you're sitting here and you're thinking, I want to spin the coin, but I don't have Wealthsimple. Well, in that case, let me help you out here. Wealthsimple. Just going to drop this in here. The Nightbot here. Oh, nope, that's not going to do it. Let's try to spell it right. Here we go. The Nightbot will drop a link here in the chat. And this is the affiliate link for Wealthsimple. If you go through this link, here's the beautiful thing. Once you fund your account, they'll give you 25 bucks for free. They'll also throw 25 bucks back at the channel. So it's a win-win. And you can spin the gold. And maybe if you get the 100,000, you can come back to chat and let me know, and I will be very jealous of you. I will be very, very jealous. So, and of course, if you're brand new to investing and you're like, well, wait a minute. Okay, that's fine and dandy, but what is Wealthsimple? They're a broker. They're just a way that you can buy and sell your stocks. They're one of the more user-friendly ones, definitely in Canada. They're also commission-free. So definitely worth checking out for sure. All right. With that all said and done, how excited are you guys this year for the Winter Olympics? Yeah, I gotta admit, I really haven't been feeling the hype yet. Not yet. Now, I know our hockey team, at least the men's, they're undefeated. So they're doing really, really good. Although I did this morning when I got up, I watched the highlights of the Canada-France game. I gotta say, it wasn't as dominating as I had wanted to see. So hopefully they can get their butts in gear for the next game. And I was also really interesting too in the highlights of yesterday's game. I think it was yesterday. I didn't hear two names I did not hear once in the highlights, and it was a little concerning for me. I didn't hear Sidney Crosby, and I also didn't hear McDavid. I'm like, what's going on? Aren't those their two top players? Why aren't they contributing in that game? They did win, but I want to see more. If they're going to beat the Americans, and we need to beat the Americans, I definitely want to see a lot more in that game. All right. With that being said, let's Let's hit the chat. Let's see what you guys are up. Jonathan is in first in the house. Let's see. Before you start, I do have a few words I want to say quickly, and that is, well, am I late? Touche. Touche. Making fun of my exit, my little exit thingy. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Prairie is in. Good afternoon and happy Sunday, community. Hope everyone is having a great family long weekend. Yeah, exactly. This is a long weekend. So, by the way, guys, there's no market close tomorrow because there's no market. I also, seeing that there was no market, I did move this week's office hours to Tuesday as well. So we will have a market close on Tuesday at regular time, so 3:30 Eastern. And for the channel members, we will have our office hours on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. So that's all going to be fun. And Wednesday, guys, I can't wait. Wednesday's our 10,000 sub celebration live stream. We're going for 10,000. I almost said hours, but no, I would fall asleep. We're going for 10,000 seconds. So that works out to just shy of 3 hours. I think 2 hours, 40 some odd minutes. This is where this is where you guys normally tell me how many. I don't know, but however many minutes, 10 or how many hours, minutes, 10,000 seconds is, that's what we're going for. So that's going to be fun. Bismarcky is in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. And we got Samantha here with happy Sunday. What do we think the market will do this week? Oh boy, that's a fantastic question. So well, here, let me pull one thing up. This is what I like to do first of all. So I like to first of all say, okay, well, what kind of drivers do we have in the coming week? So I'll show you guys. Let's first of all, we're going to pop over here. Let's actually, we're going to head over here to this one here. Actually, I'll open up a brand new window. We're going to come down to reports, and I'd like to say, well, we'll start with Canada. Why not? So coming up, obviously, oh, we actually do have stuff drop. I was almost thinking we wouldn't see anything drop on Monday because of Family Day. Also in the States, it's in addition to Family Day, well, not Family Day, it's President's Day in the States. So up here in Canada, so we do have our CPI. So that's dropping here on Tuesday. But this is not a huge driver. It's not a huge driver. And plus, we're kind of chill. Canada's kind of chill. So looking here at expectations. So here's our forecast right here. So just right now, if we, oh, what did I just do? All right, let's pull this back. I think it's because these are clickable. I was about to highlight. So last time around, our year over year was sitting at 2.8%. Oh, look at that. We don't even have. Let's go with this one here. 2.8% last time around. Sorry, right here. And they're expecting it to stay. So right now, we're expecting 2.8% year over year. We're not really expecting any difference. Here's the beautiful thing with Canada. Even if this were to go up to like 2.9 or even 3%, it's not going to impact the market big time. Not in Canada. The US one tends to sort of filter through everything, but I'd say for the most part, we probably will see a 2.8. We might even get a surprise of like maybe 2.7. That would be certainly nice. Other than that, there's not a lot of other things. We do have retail sales coming out at the end of the month. Also the PPI, which is basically, that's kind of like your wholesale inflation, but I don't see these drivers having that big of an impact on the market. So far, everything's looking fantastic. Let's go where dragons live, and that is the US. Did I just call them dragons? Well, sometimes they can drag the economy down, so yeah, they get it. The US calendar. All right, let's take a look. So nothing going on there. I love that. Tuesday, nothing there. So right now, let's not even worry about Wednesday. Right now, it looks like Tuesday when the market opens, we might get a green day. We could get a green day just from looking at this because there really isn't a lot that could get in the way. There's still obviously the whole AI thing with technology. Yeah, that's still kind of hanging in the air. But this is that week. This is that week where we got a bit of a buffer before Nvidia earnings drop. So, oh boy. So yeah, looking at Wednesday, a little bit of housing reports. Nothing really that big. Let's see here. Thursday, a little bit, yeah, retail inventories, manufacturing. So still nothing huge that's really going to impact the market. Oh boy. Friday. Friday, we have things that can impact the market. We got Q4 GDP. That could be interesting. So right now, they're expecting it to be about 2.5%. So they are expecting it to come down. Like last time, it was 4.4. They're expecting it to come down. Let's see what happens. But yeah, that could be interesting. Now, in addition to that, we also got the PCE. That's the Personal Consumers Expenditures. Now, the U.S. Fed, they don't look at CPI as their measure of inflation. It is a measure of inflation, but their preferred measure is the PCE. So that's going to be interesting. Now, right now, last time out, it was 2.8%. They're anticipating it to be 2.8% this time. So if it comes in at 2.8 or lower, that would be good for the market. So that will sort of determine how next week ends. Now, if this were to come in at like 2.9 or, oh gosh, darn it, even at 3, oh boy, that would probably, the market wouldn't like that. We would probably get a little bit of a red fest at the end of next week. But right now, the most part, the first 3 days, and keep in mind, it's a 4-day week. The first 3 days actually look okay. They look okay. So I'm gonna say a little bit more calm, a little bit less volatility than last week. And I'm gonna say that we make it to Thursday in the green, and then we'll see what happens with the PCE on Friday. And that's kind of where I'm looking at it. All right. Going back to the big screen, Bismarcky says I got a whole whopping 10. 10? Oh my, that has to be the lowest. I wonder if it's possible to get 1. I don't know if it is or not, but 10, oh gosh. King of Day is, there we are. Hello all, happy Sunday. How are you doing, King? I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And we've got Mary in the house. Oh, nice, 190. Of course, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So, guys, now let's see where we're at. Now, this is a longer stream. So my expectations on the weekdays, I want to get to 70. This is a longer stream. So, you know what? Oh, you know what? Let's be ambitious. It's a holiday weekend. There's only 46 people here. So let's get 80. Yeah, figure that math out, guys. Figure that math out. But let's get 80. Right now we're sitting at 24. So we'll well, you know what? Right now, let's just push it to 30 right this very minute while I have some coffee. Oh, very nice. Oh gosh. And I'm going to refresh it right away. Let's just see if you guys just happened to pull it off the second I had said that. I think there's a chance. Oh, 29. 29. Oh, guys, you fell 1 short. I'll just, you know what? Let me just refresh this once again because I can't see you guys disappointing me because you are the best audience ever. And yeah, look, 30. You got 30. There we go. All right, we'll revisit the like button later. Roku says, happy Sunday. 20 yesterday and 20 today. Oh my God, that's like disheartening. It's like, Roku, you need to go buy a rabbit's foot. Not a real rabbit's foot, because that would be cruel, but you know. We actually have a wild rabbit that comes by our house every so often at night. So Jill's been putting carrots out for it. I think that's cool. I do love, and we've named the rabbit Jupiter that comes by. So, what can I say? Scott says, good Sunday afternoon to all. And Lisa's in the house with a hi, everyone. Yeah, and I've noticed now when I'm starting the show, there's still sunlight outside. It's like the days are getting longer. I am liking it. I'm liking it. A little bit more sunlight. King a Day says, with the Wealthsimple gold spinning, I have never received more than 120 at a time. I got 10 yesterday. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so 190 is my record. Who was it? Might have been Brian the other day who said that said his daughter got 50,000. I'm not sure. I think it was Brian. Lance says, good afternoon. Hoping for a relatively green week this week. Yeah, I think you're going to get it. I think you're going to get it. That's what I'm calling. I can be completely wrong, though, guys, but I'm thinking that. Lisa says, I'm assuming you need to hold a minimum balance with Wealthsimple. For what? A minimum balance? I don't think so. Not with this contest. Like right now in Wealthsimple, I don't have a lot in Wealthsimple. It's actually like quite literally. I just sort of use this when you guys use that affiliate code. That's where it goes into Wealthsimple, of course, and it just hangs out there. So I don't have a ton there. Most of my money, of course, is all over in National Bank. So, yeah, I don't think so. In fact, I feel like you don't have to have anything. I feel as long as you have an account, that you're able to take part in these contests. All right. Larry says, dog has coin. Are we talking about Dogecoin, maybe? I'm not sure. Let's see. Sorry, assuming you need to have a minimum balance with them to get the spins? I don't think so. Like I said, I don't think so. Like right now in Wealthsimple, I don't even have $1,000 in Wealthsimple, and I'm getting my spins. Let's see. I currently have a Wealthsimple savings account, but currently don't have a balance. I was playing the HISA promo game. Got a while there. So just click on home. Just click on home, and then scroll to the bottom and see if you see that gold coin there, because that's where it's at. It's right on the home page. Cindy says, I watched the game. It was a good game. Okay. Yeah, I watched, basically I watched a 20-minute version of the game. It was all the highlights. It looked like it was a close game. Canada actually fell behind at one point. I was like, what? France leading 2-1? But they did come back. But here's my question. Cindy, answer me this question. What was going on with Crosby and McDavid? Why, I didn't even hear them mentioned at all in that 20-minute thing. And the 20-minute thing was showing all the close calls and shots. And I mean, were they, did they get game misconducts at the beginning at the puck drop? I mean, I have no clue. I have no clue what happened. All right. Elisa says, for a while, not got. Okay. Let's see. Twitter finally putting the crypto and trading in. If he keeps previous statements, Doge will be the main currency. Okay. That could be good for Doge. That could be good for Doge. Dogecoin started as a joke. The guys who made it, it was a meme. It was a joke coin. But Elon caught on to Doge and, liked it. And that was enough to give it a little bit of legitimacy. Of course, oh gosh, what the heck? There's a few businesses in the US basically adopted Doge, saying, yeah, we'll take Doge. And it just grew. So now it's kind of, even though it started as a joke, it kind of has a little bit of legitimacy there. And if X starts taking it as a payment, yeah, that's a lot more legitimacy. So yeah, I think Doge is here to stay. All right. Lance says, I've been watching a bunch of your covered call EGF videos. I like CDAY, HDIV, ECHI, and HHIS. I know people hold multiple, but wouldn't it be too much overlap holding more than HHIS plus CDAY, HDIV, ECHI? Yeah, well, yes, what you have to look at. So when you are holding covered call ETFs, for example, especially these bigger ones, so yeah, when you look at HHIS, it has, well, first of all, HHIS doesn't have a lot of overlap at all with CDAY, HDIV, and ECHI, because HHIS is mostly US tech stocks. CDAY, HDIV, and ECHI. Now that combination, there is going to be some overlap in there. Yeah, absolutely. And probably quite a bit. Now, it depends. Like, you would have to, and this is the thing, you can always break it down. Like, you can actually pick up exactly what they're holding. HDIV, I think, is going to have, is probably going to be the one that has the most diversification of the three, because it holds quite a few different ETFs under it. So HDIV, I think, is going to be much more broad. CDAY and ECHI, there's going to be there's going to be some overlap in there as well. So you kind of have to take that into consideration. Now, the beautiful thing is that when the Canadian market has been performing the way it is, CDAY, HDIV, ECHI are going to absolutely do really well. They're going to do really well. So, and it boils down to, and this is the whole thing too, when you're looking at this type of thing, are these your only holdings? That would be a question. If these are your only holdings, yeah, you've got a pretty strong, heavily Canadian diversified portfolio. But I would say, let's say, for example, if you have some other stuff, for example, if you were to add, like EQCL, let's say you wanted to add that because you wanted to get that international exposure. In a case like that, when you start to look at it, yeah, it still has that Canadian exposure. You're still going to get a bit of overlap, but it's going to be on a smaller scale, at least for that one, because you're also going to get some of that US, you're going to get your international, you're going to get your emerging markets. So it's going to give you a whole bunch in there for sure. ETF. Yeah, when I first looked at EGF, I was like, is that one of them environmental things? Did I do environmental video? Yeah, I figured it out a second after I saw it. Prairie says, just spun my coin, only got 60. Oh no. Yikes. Tomorrow, Prairie. Now I'll spin my coin tomorrow. Of course, we don't have a stream tomorrow, but if I score big, I'll take a screenshot if I score big. I'm not holding my breath though. I'm just, but that's the thing. I look at it this way. It's a contest. If everybody is having crappy luck, then that's actually good luck for for all of us, because then, we're on equal footings when it comes to winning one of them coins. I mean, I would absolutely love for one of us in the community. It doesn't have to be me. Of course, I would love it to be me, but it doesn't have to be me. I would love to see one of you guys win, or even if if I think it was Brian's daughter with 50,000, or we had Aaron in here last weekend who said that he got 100,000. So let's see one of you guys win. But obviously, if I have to choose any one of you guys, I'm hoping it's one of the regulars. Instead of somebody who I've only seen once or twice. I'd rather see somebody who's in here every day. Like Mary or Pierre or Prairie or Lance or Zyborg. Or I guess I was going to say Larry, but Larry lives in Texas, so I don't think Larry can take part. Pierre says, hello, Candace. I just watched Fox News, Trump giving a speech and doing Bitcoin giveaway. You send an amount and he doubles it. Felt like AI, but it was actually Fox News. Bitcoin boom is about to begin. No, Pierre, that's 100% a scam. Let me guess. You probably were watching it on YouTube. So what happens, and I'll explain it, guys. This is the way this works. Somebody hacks somebody's channel. So let's say they hacked my channel. Somebody would hack my channel. They get in immediately. First of all, they get rid of Mountain Finance. They put in Fox News. and then they play the thing with Trump talking about Bitcoin or something, and then they put the thing up on the side saying, yeah, send me a Bitcoin, I'll send you two. 100% a scam. 100% a scam. Just because it says Fox News, it's not really Fox News. It's somebody who got hacked and they just changed the name. That's what you're looking at. So be very, very careful with these guys. Those are scams 1,000,000%. Like, I have zero doubt that that's not a scam. Zero. Oh boy. I need a coffee after that, because now I want to go and beat up some hackers. Okay, Zyborg. Nice, congrats on 10K. If I had a nickel for every minute of your streams I've watched, I would probably have lost it all on CSU. Oh no. Yeah, maybe. Oh gosh. Oh, I saw the Nightbot. Let me turn that off because we already have a Tuesday show. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. The Nightbot will stop now. Let's get back here. Lance, I read something that said Trump was making some big wig for Ripple XRP a part of his administration. If so, that could be very bullish for crypto later this year when rates fall. That's a possibility. That's the thing. Crypto still does move quite a bit when there's kind of financial stuff like this that happens. So yeah, absolutely. If Trump were to bring in that Ripple person, it might help. Now, here's the problem though. It may not all of a sudden push it up and keep it up. It might just be more of a pump for a day and then come back down. So you kind of have to sort of play those with a little bit of pizzazz for sure. Vic says, did Canada beat France? Yes, they did. 3-2. It was close. It was close. Bismarcky says, yes, Canada beat the pants off of France. I disagree. Like, maybe Canada dominated France, maybe, and it may have been a very one-sided game, but it was only a 1-goal victory. And for me, as you're heading towards the end of the game, if you're only down 1 goal, you've got a chance. So it wasn't as dominating as their first 2 games, that's for sure. Like, their first 2 games, I mean, they blew it away. Like, what was it, 5-0 and 5-1? So, yeah. Navi says Canada killed France. Can you look at PD? That I'm looking at this, but trying to understand the drop 30 days. PD, I don't know who PD is, but let me take a quick gander here. All right. By the way, this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing, whoops, I suppose I should bring it up. This is Bitcoin, by the way. So we're just heading in there. Nice, staying above my line. I'm liking this. I'm actually, well, don't worry, Michael, I'm going to get to PD in a second. I'm liking something here. I can see if we can get some movement like this, we might actually get a channel in here. And I'm okay with Bitcoin hanging around in a channel, but as long as Bitcoin's not going back down, I'm happy with that. All right, PD. Let's take a look here. I see PD, and I immediately think of the police department. All right, now I know you're not looking at a Canadian company, Michael. You never are. So let's see here. PagerDuty. That's what it's going to be. PagerDuty. I've never heard of this company before. I'm going to say this right now. Oh, here we. Whoa! I still got my thingies on. All right, interesting. Yeah. So trying to understand the drop over the last 30 days. Yeah, this is quite the drop for sure. That's a good question. And the only thing I can really do is I can look at some of the latest news to see if there's anything in there. Let's see, Upland Software, Amplitude, Asana, PagerDuty. All right, PagerDuty announces CFO transition. PagerDuty shares are falling. What you need to know. This might give us a little bit of information right here. Let's see, broad sell-off through the software sector. So this here, like I can tell you right now, software. So this is kind of, and we're seeing this in a lot of things. So this is all I needed to confirm, is that this was software. And well, look here, growing concerns about the impact of artificial intelligence. So right now, people are a little freaked with AI. AI keeps on getting smarter and smarter, and it's picking up speed. Like AI, the advances we would see in AI that would take, if you go even a year ago, the advances we would see every 3-4 months. Well, we're now seeing that level of advances every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's only getting better. Well, as in faster. It's getting, AI is only improving more and more, and a lot of these software companies, you've got people who can just sit there and say, well, why am I going to pay? Why am I going to pay a software company when I can just give a prompt to ChatGPT and get an answer, or have ChatGPT build me a quick little app, and it becomes kind of like personalized software too, right? Because you can have it built exactly the way you want it, absolutely personalized to you, and that is hurting a lot of companies. So this is just another in a huge handful of companies that are being hurt, mostly technology, especially software-driven companies. So that is currently kind of the thing. Now I'm hoping that this starts to, that people finally start easing back a little bit, because here's the thing. Yeah, AI is there, but the reality is most people don't realize what they can do with AI. Most people have no idea how to write prompts. And for that reason, I think that a lot of these companies are fine in the short term, at least in the short term, maybe the midterm. Um, there's going to be a lot of there should be a lot of concern for the longer term, but yeah, that's what's been going on with this company, Michael, right here. It's spelled out right in the news. So a lot of times, if you guys see a company that goes down and you're like, what the heck is going on? Check out the news on that company. A lot of times the answer will be right there for you. Just click on the news, see what articles, and just take a look and see. And a lot of times you can find that answer really easy. All right. Larry said, hey, Pierre, there you go. Larry said he'll give you that deal right now. Oh, boy. Yeah. Larry's not going to send you two back. Larry won't send you two back. Lance, I meant holding CDA plus the other three. I was thinking HHIS plus another, but so many options. Yeah. Okay, understandable. But here's the thing, though. Look at what they're holding, and it may not be a situation where, where one, if I was only going to hold one of the three that you had mentioned, it would probably be HDIV. But at the same time, HDIV is going to give you certain things. CDAY, also HHIC. You could put that in that list as well. So they will give you different diversifications and different sectors. Like, some of them will give you uranium exposure, some of them do not. Well, you probably get a little bit of uranium exposure even with HDIV, but it's kind of, you look at how they're structured and what they're holding. That would be a way to sort of decide. And honestly, you could always say, let's say, for example, if that was your entire portfolio, HHIS plus those three. Well, then you'd have to decide, okay, what percentage do I want US? What percentage do I want Canada? So if you wanted, let's say you wanted 50% US, and you were like, I'm just going to get HHIS, there's my US, there's 50%. I wouldn't do that personally, but only because, HHIS is pretty much one sector. I mean, yeah, you got a little bit of healthcare in there with Eli Lilly, but it's mostly one sector. But if, let's just say that HHIS took care of all your needs on the US and you had 50%, and then you were going to do 50% Canada, well, you don't have to have just one. Well, kind of like I would say, don't just have HHIS for the US side. You could have 4 different Canadian ones that all do different things, and in that case or even 5 in each. I mean, maybe 10% diversification of each, or a 10% share in your portfolio. So you can have multiple. You just have to sort of look at the bigger picture at what you're trying to pull off, and that's kind of the thing, is getting a general idea of what what each is holding, where you're getting your strength in the portfolio, where perhaps you are getting over diversified, because that's kind of that thing to pull in. All right. Scott said, I assumed that was either a joke or spam. Let's see. Hi all, I got glasses yesterday, says Ian. Now I feel like Clark Kent. Nice. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see, Lance. I only have HHIS and C-Day. Okay, but I know some people hold multiple Canadian US cover call ETFs and was wondering if there was a benefit that makes holding more than one Canadian cover call ETF worth it. Well, yeah, of course there is. It comes down to how broad you want your diversification. When you look at C-Day, and here, let's actually look at C-Day. Let's head over there. All right, that's one I don't think I have bookmarked yet. All right, C-Day. All right, we're pulling up C-Day. We're heading in. All right, performance overview. I want. Okay, so this one here is holding a couple of things. Now here's an interesting thing that you may not have noticed or knew about C-Day. The leverage part is all VOO. So that's all Vanguard S&P 500. So you're actually getting, with C-Day, you are getting an extra 25, pretty much roughly 25% US S&P 500 exposure. All right, so we now have to go to CMVP, Hamilton Champions. All right, and see, can I open them that way? No, it shows it like it's linkable, but you think. All right, so CMVP, let's head over to the champions. CMVP, where are you? There's S-Day, over here. So yeah, so you're getting, so we go to CMVP. This one actually is pretty diversified. I will say, I was looking at CMVP earlier today. But you can see here some of the some of the snapshots. You're getting a little bit of everything. You've got everything from CN to Loblaws to most of the banks are in there. Fortis. You got some, and yeah, Agnico Eagle. There we go. I always want to go Angico, and but you are getting quite a bit. And there's their top 10 in there. Do they have a full list in here? I don't think they do. I don't remember seeing one, but you are getting a lot. You are getting quite a bit here. So this here, they're basically they're trying to look at the Selective Canada Dividend Elite Champions Index. So they're trying to replicate this index. And here, let's pull up the Selective just to give you a general idea. I like that ETF a lot. I will say that right now. So yeah, you are getting some really good exposure, and C-Day has done pretty well, has done really well. So yeah, that one is giving you a pretty broad exposure. So I just wanted to see. I didn't realize that C-Day was holding the champion one. And now that I think about it, yeah, I should have known that. But yeah, it's a good one. It is a good one. So but here's the thing: if you're only holding the two, there might be sectors that you want a bit more exposure to. So for example, well, we've had a material explosion in the last little while. And you have to sort of look and say, okay, well, what's going on in Canada? Well, one big thing going on in Canada is as we look to build more infrastructure, as we look to, fast track some of these infrastructure companies. Well, what type of infrastructure companies have been fast tracked so far? They've been a lot of mining, a lot of minerals, pipelines, a few things like that. Well, not pipelines per se, but there's been a lot of things in that vein. That's one of the reasons that materials is doing so well as well. So that might be a thing where you might look at it and say, okay, well, maybe I want a little more materials. So maybe I want some of those Global X ones, like AGCC or CC, CP, GLCC, or GLCL. There's a lot of different ones that you might move to sort of look at bolstering. certain sectors, or you could say, you know what, financials are doing really good too. And financials benefit from what's happening with all of this infrastructure stuff. It really is strong for financials. So you might say, okay, gosh, you know what? Maybe I want to add like a bank or a Sixty or heck, even BK. There's a lot of different ones that you could look at. So I always like to sort of try to diversify to a certain extent for sure. Okay, let's see. Lisa says there was a scam a couple of years ago with Elon Musk and giving money to Canadians. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is constant. I mean, as a YouTuber, I have to be super, super careful of some of the stuff I get in my email. Like quite literally, there is always some sketchy people writing and saying, "Oh, I want to sponsor you. What's it going to cost? Can we talk on Telegram?" I'll tell you right now. Even if you're a legitimate company, if you reach out to me and you want to talk to me on Telegram about a sponsorship, I just can't take the chance. I can't take the chance. And plus, most companies, I think, if you're legitimate, are probably not doing your deals on Telegram. So I'm always a little bit careful because what they do is they'll usually say, and they'll sound legit. A lot of times they'll even pretend to be another company and they'll steal a lot of their assets so that it looks like it's legit. And then they'll say, okay, well here, let me send you a package of what we're looking for. And they'll send you, usually it's a zip file. Well, guess what? You unzip it and they take control. What they do is they take control of your computer. So YouTube, it'll hold, like there's basically session cookies that come from YouTube. And it's one of the reasons why, if you ever notice, you don't really have to log into YouTube. And it's the same way with creators. It's very rare, like these things don't expire. So they basically steal those active cookies and they create it so that those cookies still think that they're active on your computer, even though they're now on a scammer's computer. And that's how they can go in. And they'll change your password, then they'll change your name, and then they'll take all of your videos. Luckily, though, all they do is just make them private, which is good because a lot of people, when they finally get their channels back, at least their videos are still there. Could you imagine, though, if they actually went in and deleted every video? I think the only reason that they don't, because they're malicious bastards. Sorry for the swearing, but they're malicious bastards. The only reason they don't delete all of your videos is because it takes a few extra clicks to do that. So they just go the easy route by making them private. Then they pump up, one of these fake videos. Maybe it's Elon Musk talking. Maybe it's Donald Trump. Maybe it's Carney. Who knows? At one point, I think they even had Chrystia Freeland doing them as well. And it's all a scam. Anytime you see anything like that, you got to know that they're offering you a deal that is just crazy good. And if it's crazy good, here's the thing. If they let's look at the Canadian government. If the Canadian government was doing some kind of a deal that they were going to give you a really good deal, do you not think the press would be all over that? Don't you think it would be frontline news on like Global News, CBC, CTV, City TV? It would be absolutely would. And that's kind of why you got to be really, really careful. And 99.99999% of the time, it's going to be a scam. So you got to really, and and this is the way I look at it. You know what? Maybe that odd time when it's not a scam, I'd rather miss that one time than get scammed. Yeah, that's just how I look at it. Anyway, Vic is in the house with a QQQ. Let's see. Any thoughts in BMO target yield covered call ETFs where you can pick between 6 and 15% yield? No, I have no thoughts. And I'll tell you why, because this is the first I've heard of it. So are you saying, and I've heard rumors that custom ETFs are coming. Absolutely. I can definitely see that. So are you saying that BMO is offering you one where you can target your own yield. That's actually kind of cool. I gotta say. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see if I can find some information on this. BMO, and I'm just going to put target. Targeted yield. I've never heard of this before. I've heard of things similar, but I've never heard of it actually. Let's see here. Oh, okay, here we go. So let's see. BMO, right here. BMO has introduced new target cash flow units for their ETFs, allowing investors to select a transparent and consistent monthly cash flow with targets ranging from 6 to 15% annually. Here we go. This is it. Let's see. These solutions, including covered call ETFs, so ZWC, and asset allocation, provide defensive income strategies. They are designed to offer flexibility for income-focused investors looking for predictable cash flow in various market conditions. I like this. I like this. So here's some of the funds. ZWC.T. Oh, are these all going to be .Ts? I bet you they are. The .T probably is, maybe that's for targeted. All right, so we got, yeah, ZWC, ZWS, ZGRO, so ZGRO. That's interesting. That's definitely interesting. All right, very cool. I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. Like I think that we should have the ability with some of the companies to do a little bit more. Like that to me is fantastic. So if we get to a point, and I think AI is going to let us get there, guys. If we get to a point where the management company is letting AI sort of cater the way the funds work, we might be able to get to a point where we could have, perhaps. Now, here's the interesting thing, though. And this is kind of the thing. I was thinking about options because options have to be done at a specific level. And, you know, obviously, if you want to sort of have a slider to go from 6 to 15%, what I see that as being you're going to change where the strike price is. You know, obviously, if you want 15%, you're going to be pretty much at the money. If you want 6%, you could be quite a ways out of the money. So that would be interesting. Now, I wonder if you need a minimum, and I don't know. Like I said, I just found out about this like a few seconds ago from Vic. So I wonder if there is because normally options, you need a specific amount to write an option. So, you know, do you have to have a certain amount of these? Or if they're only giving you like, you know, maybe they're pooling all the people who choose 6% together, those options, and writing it that way. Maybe they're pooling 6, 7, 8, something like that. So that is a really interesting concept. I kind of like it. I kind of like it quite a bit. I'll definitely do some more I'll look into this here a little more, Vic, because this could very well be a good video topic too, because I like it. That's my opinion. Scott says score was 10-2. I think you missed a few highlights. 10-2. 10-2. Then what did I watch? Quite literally, guys, I watched one, and it ended 3-2. 3-2. What? Did I watch this? Oh my God, now I want to. All right, guys, let's find out. We'll find out what I watched. Because now I'm confused. I'm literally confused. 10-2. 10-2. Where is my YouTube actually at? That might be it there. Yeah, I think this is it. All right. Okay, let's go back. Let's go. What did I watch this morning? I had just gotten up, so I'm going into my history. Relaxing Blizzard, ChatGPT, Claude. Yeah, Canada versus France. Oh, look at this. The pre-Olympics. Oh, I wasn't even watching the actual Olympics. Yeah, this is what I watched right here. The pre-Olympics. Okay. I'm just going to open this up here. Here, let's just. Yeah, you see, and they posted it 21 hours ago. Oh, that might explain it. Yeah, look, we live in a pre-Olympics clash. Ah, I was watching the pre-Olympics. I can't believe. Oh, all right. If this was not the first thing I watched this morning after I pulled myself out of the shower, maybe I would have caught this. Okay, all right. Yeah, yeah. The pre-Olympics game, and see, look, here it is, 3-2. That explains why Crosby and McKinnon weren't there. All right, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I can't believe it. All right. I would have much rather watched the highlights of the 10-2 one. Dear God. What? Oh boy. All right. Vic, let's go big screen for a moment. I can't believe that. All right. Vic says, with AI monitoring driving logs, we can't fudge the logs. I did too much driving and forced to take a break. Well, Vic, I hate to say it, but that's not a bad thing. You know, that's been, I mean, one of the issues, especially with drivers, and we're talking truck drivers, is that a lot of times they're forced to drive a lot more than safe. And Vic, you're probably a really good driver. I have no doubt of that. But, you know, there's probably a lot of drivers out there that by forcing them to take breaks, it might actually prevent accidents. So the only thing is, obviously, companies that are using trucking, they're going to have to realize that because of this, they may have to lower their expectations a little bit, because if you can't push through and, you know, maybe throw just a couple of extra hours of driving on in a day, you know, it might take a little longer to get some goods moved for sure. No. Okay. Let's see, Candace, I'm thinking you didn't watch the third period. No, I watched the wrong game. We've established this. What do you think of HRL, Candace? Good time to start a position. HRL. Let's take a look. Actually, here. We'll pull this up here. Let's go in here. HRL. All right. Hormel Foods Corporation. All right. Interesting. All right, because I was looking at the name. I'm like, what is HRL? Should I know this one? All right, so yeah, let's pull up. I'm going to take a quick gander. All right. Actually, I want to see the 3-year. I need to search. Oh boy. No boy. Let's go to the 5-year. Oh, that doesn't help. This is a company that has been on a downward swing for a long time. A very, very long time. Let's go to the 10-year, actually. All right. Oh, they at one point did actually go up. All right, that's good to see. Back here, from about 2018 to 2020. Okay, interesting. They've been on a downward trend for a long time, and I would almost like to say, like, do we have any support at this level? No, we don't. Maybe if we go to the 15-year. Oh, there we go. We have support at 1493, but there's not a lot of support where we're at right now. So, is it a good time to get this company? Gosh. Let's look and see if we can find out a little bit more. So let's see here. Global branded food company and approximately $12 billion in annual revenue. Okay, let's see. We got Planters, Skippy, Spam. Oh, Spam. Hormel, Natural Choice, Applegate, Holy. All right, so they got some good products. They've got a few really good products in there. I like that. But what's going on? Why are they they've been diving pretty much since 2022. They've been on a very big downward. Like, they had a nice move up, but why is this happening? Give me a second here. Let's go into their key data and see if there's anything going on here. Oh, their debt's actually not bad. 36% debt to equity. Return on equity is a little bit low. So there must be something going on. I don't think there's recent news is probably not going to help us with this because it has been a long drip. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here to give me any information. So this is a hard one. This is a hard one, Lisa. You would think with what they're holding, so you would think with the food products that they represent that this should level out. You would think that. But I gotta say, it has. They've been falling for a long time. I would be, if you're gonna get in on them, I would not go in heavy. I would maybe do a really light position, something you're not afraid to lose, or or at least watch it drop a little bit more. Like this would be the type of thing that if I was looking at it, I was like, okay, you know what? I think I might want to get. And here's the thing, though. There's really no sign that this is going to turn around anytime soon. It might, though, but there's no sign. There's nothing that I can see that would make me want to jump in. Other than I do like the fact that there's no debt. That there's very small amounts of debt. This is one I would want to look at a little bit deeper. Like, let's actually, you know what? Here, let me take one more thing on this one. HRL, let's go to Yahoo Finance for a minute. All right, and I'm kind of curious just to know. Whoops, I'm still in Google. All right, here we go. HRL. I'm kind of curious to see what are the estimates. So right now, this is a number that's usually done by a whole team of analysts, and they're expecting that it will be about $27 in a year. All right, so right now it's in at 23. So the analysts are kind of thinking it might go up, but nonetheless, this is one that I don't have a super good feeling. I don't have a super bad feeling either, but I wouldn't go in deep. I would maybe a little bit, maybe even just dollar cost average a tiny bit, see what happens. But I certainly wouldn't bet the farm on this one. All right. Tom says, any new holdings you're looking at for this week's swings? That's a good question. It's a good question. So, interesting little thing here. Let's get rid of this. I've now renamed this into my swing list. So these are the companies that I've been doing swings with. So obviously we just finished an Air Canada swing. And some of you guys made some big, oh, look at this. This is a nice, it's weird. Like when I got my swing trading hat on, I look at something like this and I'm like, ooh, could we get down? Could we get down a little bit further? I want to start getting some clearer channels. I don't have that yet. So right now I am still in a Microsoft swing, and it's interesting enough in here, Microsoft does seem to have a small little channel starting to form. Not that I like that, because I want to get out of that. I guess, did my thingies not? Yeah. Oh, that's because I did the CDRs on this side. I put them all of the CDRs here just because I figured I'll start charting those. But yeah, you can sort of see with this one. And here, let me grab this. We have a little channel starting, and the only thing I can think with a little channel like this is I might be able to do a couple little swing trades to pull my overall average down a bit. I want something bigger. Like, I would love it if this would become a big, but more or less this could actually be chop inside of a larger channel. So we don't know yet. I'm looking to see what's happening there, but I'd love to get out of that. All right, now with Google, oh, and I didn't put the CDR of Google. I threw this one over. Yeah, since it broke out of this rising channel, it's been kind of yeah. So I want to see something happening here with Google. Now, I think Google's going to turn around because, you know, one, they've got resistance. They got a lot of resistance down in here, or sorry, support, I guess, because, you know, we're coming down on it. So I'd like to see Google turn around. I don't know if we'll get a V-shaped, but I'm going to have to look and see at ways I can sort of average down a little bit in this one to get out of this one. Now, IVN is one that I'm looking at. And you know what? We've already played all of this. So I'm just going to remove some of this stuff because it's kind of at this point, that was an old trade. It's kind of blocking things up. All right, there we go. I'll get rid of that, get rid of that, and I'll get rid of that. So yeah, right now we're kind of at this point where we came down. We didn't make it all the way back down, which is too bad because I was planning to buy down about here. We've come back up and it looks like we're starting to come back down. So I'm gonna see if this is gonna hold true to this channel. So if it makes it down here, I'll be looking at this one and I'll have to determine because I also think that this one could break out of this ascending channel. So I could see this one breaking out this week. And if it were to break out, let's give you a sort of an anticipation here. Yeah, right about there. So if it were to break out, you know, it could go up to 1942. So I normally don't play breakouts, but I'm going to watch this one. This might be something I might consider. Meta, I've been watching Meta as well to sort of see what they're doing right now, and I'm sort of stuck in a trade with them as well. So I'm hoping to get out. And then, of course, there is my try and true Tesla. So Tesla has moved back into the channel. So it looks like they're coming back down for another retest. And that could be good. So Tesla may be, actually, yeah, Tesla might be one I think I'm already in Tesla. I think I got a small position in Tesla, but if I can get out of some of these others, I'll probably expand this position if we're down towards the bottom of this, because I think we've got a good chance of seeing Tesla coming back up to here. And this is the CDR once again, guys. I think we have a good chance of getting Tesla back up there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for this coming week. Now, mind you, it is a short week too. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Pierre says, oh my God, you are right. It's a scam. They disabled comments in the live show. Can't be rewind either. I hate those scammers. Some desperate Americans might have fallen for it. Yeah, absolutely. You know who would fall for it? MAGA. MAGA will fall for it because, you know, you've got a lot of people in MAGA who, you know, pretty much everything Trump says is the law. It's, you know, yeah, there's a lot of MAGA that probably fall for scams like that. All right. Prairie says, took a chance on WCN last week and caught the very bottom on Thursday, jumped 2.77% after earnings on Friday. I'm bullish on WCN, but it's interesting. It's been going down over the last year. Thoughts? I do like WCN. And here, let's bring them up here. So, of course, WCN, Waste Connections. This is one of these companies that is what I call, this is a recession-proof. It's a defensive company. But when you look at it, yeah, they've been on a slide the last year. And you can sort of see down here, that's quite the drop at the end. Now, if we come back to the 3 years, before this slide, though, they did have quite the way up. So they're not down that much when you consider where they were coming into this. So yeah, this is a company that they are defensive. I do like them. I think they'll bounce back a little bit. Like I think right here, this 231 level in this area, I think that's definitely doable. I think they might have been sort of overinflated a little bit up here. So I'm not expecting them to get anywhere back around 270, not anytime soon, but I do like this company. And this is a company, if we move into a recession, I think they'll be fine in a recession. Like, you know, waste is going to still be produced. We don't stop producing waste in a recession. So, yeah, I do like this company. I do like them. I just wish they hadn't fallen like that. But yeah, especially when you consider the economy, it's been okay. Like, especially if you look at the stock market. Actually, I watched an interesting video on Saturday where somebody was looking at the, I'm the stock markets, different world stock markets for 2025. And I knew, the TSX did really good, but I didn't realize it actually did the best. It was actually the best in the world. So Canada beat everybody in 2025, at least stock market wise. The U.S., not so much. I think the U.S. was like at 15th or something like that. So it was a very interesting video. Now, obviously, I did not go back and double check all of the data that was in the video. So, I'm taking the word of that video, but so take it with a grain of salt because I did not double check the data. Lance says, thank you. I will look at their holdings tonight. Maybe I will add extras on Tuesday. Scott says, you said there's nothing wrong with Ian feeling like Clark Kent after getting glasses, but before the glasses, he might have felt like Superman. Well, why would he feel like Superman? Like Superman and Clark Kent, those are two different people. Come on, Scott. Well, I think maybe Clark Kent wrote about Superman from time to time, but that's about it. I don't know what you're talking about, Scott. Ian says, let's see, I found the Trump crypto video. I just searched Fox News, Trump Bitcoin. It's wild, definitely AI Trump. Yeah. I saw a video, I think it was John Oliver. I think it was a John Oliver video. It was all of a sudden this channel that I've never heard of before, the John Oliver something. And didn't have very many views, didn't have very many subscribers, which right away, if it's a celebrity and they've only got a small handful, that's a suspect. But then I watched, I didn't actually go into the video, but I was just watching the autoplay a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's so obviously AI. What are they up to? What are they trying to scam? I didn't go in to check, though. Let's see, if only Trump were just AI. Oh, if only, yeah. Then we could change the programming, maybe. Yeah, it would explain the hallucinations, yeah. Oh, and guys, I wanted to mention something too. I was looking at, so as you guys know, I did those couple of videos for 9 Point, and they've thrown them up as ads. So I gave them permission to do whatever they want, and I got no problem with that. But I want to let you guys know, if you guys are watching something and an ad comes up, which is one of my full videos as an ad, one of the 9 Point ones, feel free to skip it because I don't make a penny off of those. Like I don't get a cent, not even a red penny, because you can't put ads on an ad. I make money through ads, so I don't make money at all from those, like nothing. So they don't count as. They don't count. You can completely skip them. I know somebody told me they skipped it the other day and said sorry. Don't even say sorry. Definitely skip those. I mean, I'm going to skip a 20-minute ad. If I get a 20-minute ad, I'm skipping it. Actually, ironically, if let's say you were, let's say that ad came up and you were watching somebody else's channel, and then you were like, oh my God, that's Candace's ad. I got to watch it. You would actually be giving money to that person, whoever's channel it is, if you actually watched it. And I think, and I don't take this to the bank, but I think as long as if you watch like, I don't know if it's a minute, it's either 30 seconds or a minute, then I think that that content creator gets paid. You don't have to watch the whole thing. And in these cases, like I said, guys, don't watch them. Just just hit the thing, just hit the skip on those. I mean, nobody should ever have to sit through. And I've had it happen. Like I cannot tell you how many times. Normally on my test box doesn't have YouTube Premium, so sometimes the test box, I'll be sitting over there and I'll watch the ad because I want to see what ads are on the front of my my videos, right? I want to kind of see what you guys are experiencing. And there's been a couple times where on a live stream, there's one time on a live stream I looked over and I saw it was some 20-minute video. And I was like, what? You'll miss the first 20 minutes of the show if you watch that. So yeah, feel free to absolutely skip those. Pierre says, my dividend portfolio is very aggressive on crypto. I have HBTE heavy, CRCY, HHIS, MSTE heavy as well. SHHI. If crypto booms, my portfolio would recover big time. Reason I got excited by that fake Fox News. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And here's the thing. I mean, crypto, crypto always recovers. It always comes back. If you're a crypto investor, and if you've been a long time crypto investor, you're used to this volatility. It's like, oh yeah, this is I've been here before, been here, done that. It's it's exactly what I expect. And normally, and you know what the whales are doing? The whales are people who own a lot of Bitcoin. Actually, is it 1,000 Bitcoins to be a whale? Now I'm curious. It might be. It might be. Let me just see here. Okay, let's find out. Let's see. How many BTC? Whoops, BTC. To be a whale. There we go. Yeah, there it is, 1,000. Yeah, so you need 1,000 Bitcoin. So these guys, what they're doing is when we go into crypto winter, or when crypto is on the downside of volatility, do you think they're buying their 1,000 at the top? No, they're buying them at the bottom. They're buying like crazy. They're scooping them up. And in some cases, sometimes, and now it's harder now than it used to be, but back in the more volatile days, sometimes big whales would just sell a whole bunch of it right at the top when we were at all-time highs and push the price down. Even if they pushed it down a little, enough to get people panicking. If they could get people panicking and get a whole bunch of retail people selling, oh, that would push the price down even further. And then they would sit back and rub their hands and say, come on, keep panicking, folks. And next thing you know, at the bottom, they're buying back all of that Bitcoin plus more. So that's one of the ways that they basically turned, they might have turned, maybe they had 1,000 Bitcoin, maybe they sold 1,000 and turned it into, turned it into 1,100. I mean, depends on how far it went down, I guess. But, it's one of those things. That's kind of a strategy that they use. So, in a case like this, if you're holding a crypto asset and it goes way down, I really wouldn't sell it. I really wouldn't sell it personally. Like I don't have any, well, I've got a tiny, I've got a flake of skin in the game with MSTE because I've got those 10. Well, technically I have 20. I've got 10 in the challenge and I've got 10 sitting on my iPad there. And that 10 is still doing great. I think it's still up 20%. So, not too shabby. That's the way I look at it. Lance says, I like bank, Utes, and oily ENCL for sector-specific cover call ETFs. Yeah, exactly. Bank, you're going to get your financials, Utes, utilities. Now, Utes, you're not going to get much growth with Utes. Utes is pretty at the money when it comes to the cover calls, but you are going to get some good income out of that. Oily, ENCL for your energy, for sure. Yeah, not too shabby. Wahipple says CMVP has 25 holdings from the Selective Canada Dividend Elite Champions Index. It's kind of like VDY that has 58 of the index the last time I looked. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and I do like the champions. I like the champions. And actually, guys, so I told you this morning I was looking at that ETF, and I'll tell you why. Next Friday's video, I'm doing a deep dive on CWIN. So that one, you'll have to see why I'm doing it because it's not a cover call. It's basically, it holds, well, it holds, what is it, CMVP. It holds CMVP and it throws leverage on it. So we're going to look at that and I'm going to explain how that could fit into a growth income portfolio. So that's going to be I think that one's going to be very cool. I'll be filming it tomorrow, actually. Lance says, yep, I downloaded its holdings earlier today. It's pretty diversified, but I guess it could always be complemented with something else. All right. Larry says that Beyonce sent me an email asking to borrow money. Ah, boy. Yes, I'm sure that happened, Larry. Beyonce, she's just looking pretty broke nowadays. Maybe she could borrow some from Mariah Carey because she always gets money every December because of her Christmas album. All right, Lance says, I also started looking into WXM and FXM, Canadian Momentum and Value ETFs with nice returns. Yeah, exactly. And I know we looked at one of those the other day as well. Okay. Mark says, hey, Candace, what do you think about Amazon CDR for a swing from 2307 to 26? RSI 22.6. Wall Street panicked about 200 billion spending plan for 2026. All right. Do I have Amazon on my list? I don't know if I do. Mark, let's take a look. Yeah, I don't. Let's add them. Let's add them and we'll take a look. We'll take a look right now. AS. Oh, sorry, AZAM. I'll just type in Amazon. There we go. That's the NASDAQ one. Let's grab, I thought I had a, let's see here. Let's just, well, actually, AM. All right, AMZN. There we go. Oh, that's an X. All right. It's like I'm challenged today, folks. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Bang. Boom. All right. We got it. All right. Let's get in here and take a look and see what we got going on here. Let's take a gander here. All right. So, all right. So here's our double jump, our double gap. You gotta love it. So what is Amazon doing right now? This is where we bring in some stuff. We got a couple of possible things. So here is one really interesting one. Now, if this is the case, Amazon's getting ready to blow, and I'll sort of explain what I mean. All right, so this here is one potential pattern that I can see. Now, if this is the case, then Amazon is pretty much, well, it's ready to break out of that. Now, I'm not 100% convinced on this. The top, and actually here, let's drag this up. I mean, the top, we do have some touch points, but it's hard to say. I would have almost expected this to have broken out already. So I'm not sure I subscribe to this one. So let's see if we can find a better pattern. Now, obviously, I like a channel. Now, we kind of have a channel sort of developing there. Now, what if we... Now, here's the thing. We only got one touch right now on this. So, and this is also really short for a channel. So I don't know if we've got a channel going here, but there's always the possibility, and we kind of need some touches. And right now we don't have a lot of touches. That's the thing. There's always a possibility that we could create a channel like this. All right. Now you're looking at going from 2307, which is right where we're at right now, and you're hoping to go all the way up to 26. So 26 is up here. So that's, I don't know if it's going to do that really fast. It really depends on what we get. If we get a bunch of momentum this week, so if I'm right and we get a green market through Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we get some recovery in tech, but that's the thing. We have to be sure, and this is what we don't know yet. This is the one piece of information we're missing. Are people starting to calm the F down about AI? Sorry for using the F, but I had to, because that's exactly what we need to know. Are people going to calm the F down? If they're not, then we're probably going to see more struggles in tech this week. So we may see the rest of the market looking pretty good. And that might be enough to pull us into the green, but we might still see more struggles in tech. So here's how I would play this, Mark. I wouldn't, not yet. I need to see a bit more information. I need to see how tech is going to behave Tuesday morning. That'll be the big thing. So if Tuesday morning, so for example, even, and this is beautiful because you can always look at the pre-market. You look at the pre-market and see what it's doing Tuesday morning. If all of a sudden the pre-market is starting to go up, then yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance we could actually go beyond this right now. Like, and don't take this. I'm going to remove this because we just don't have the data yet for that. We have a support potentially at this location. So I don't have the data right now for that. That's kind of the way I would look at that one, Mark. And we can look at this again. Bring it up, Mark, on Tuesday. We'll look at it at the market close. But yeah, I would look at the pre-market. Log in at 8:30 or so, and see what Amazon is doing in the pre-market. Now, I don't, even if Amazon does struggle, I don't see them going that much lower. I mean, this is pretty low for Amazon. Now, mind you, this is also the CDR guy, so keep that in mind. You know, I like to fill gaps. I like to fill gaps, but it's not always guaranteed. And there's people out there that will tell you, yes, stocks always come up and fill the gaps. That's not true. Do they fill the gaps a lot? Yes. But do they always fill the gaps? No. And here's the thing. You can argue a year from now, if Amazon has a good week and they're back up in here, somebody can say, see, I told you, they filled the gaps. I take that with a grain of salt because you never know. All right. Scott says, Margot Robbie wants to ask me out, but needs my SIN. For Larry, that's your social security number. I don't think. Oh, Scott, don't send it. Yeah, you're trolling. You're trolling Larry. Pruning trees on a Sunday, Vancouver Island. Nice. Let's see. I was listening to a podcast about China's economy, and they said their growth will really be around 4 to 5% when you separate out the propaganda. All right, interesting. I think China's economy, considering where it looked like it was going, I think they're doing a lot better than they were, especially when we look at some of the real estate issues that they've had. I mean, China's making some of the better moves. So I do like their economy. I think their economy is fine. Like even those ETFs, like, you know, if you want to get exposure to China, there's options there. So yeah, absolutely. You watched the IIHF? Yeah, I don't know what I watched, but I didn't watch the real game. I feel bad about it. Vic said, I got a text from Bad Bunny about real estate opportunity in Puerto Rico. I think he saw me watching him on Super Bowl and reached out to... oh, gosh. AGCC. Looks like it formed a channel. Okay, so... I will tell you one thing that I'm always a little bit... always be a little bit extra careful when you are dealing with something like, you know, AGCC, CCCP. So yeah, well, all right, but let's take a look. And you know what? I don't have a silver play, but I also keep in mind too that this here, and let's see, AGCC, here we go. I'm gonna add it and we'll take a gander at it, even though this is not one I would typically, all right. So yeah, I can see what you're saying. So channel-wise, you could say, you know, you could technically, whoops, let's grab that. Yeah, you could say that there is a little kind of a channel here. It's not clean. Also, if we have a big day for silver, this will blow out of this so easily. So you got to take some considerations too when you're looking at what you're going to play. So I look at the fact that when you look on the larger scale, because because silver has retraced quite a bit. This is the type that if we had a really good, like a 10% plus 10% day in silver, this would blow out of this pretty quickly. So I would just be, you know, here's the thing. Will it go down below this? That would be a good question. This support might be one of these things. So if I were to play this, I think I would be playing this as a support, and I would be playing it for this to break through. So kind of like stop loss somewhere's in about here and then see what happens. It could be interesting. It's not one that's on my radar, but well, it is now because you put it on my radar, but that could be interesting. Let's see. I did exact same thing. Oh, did you watch it? There we go. Scott says, that would also explain why you didn't hear McDavid and Crosby mention. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm like, wait, how can they, or Suzuki? There was no Suzuki. I'm like, come on, guys. Pathfinder. The game was a barn burner, and Crosby has the most points now. There we go. Ah, how could I'm now. Yeah, that was a rookie mistake for sure. It's like I need to take hockey watching 101 again. Elisa says Hormel makes a lot of processed meats. Yeah, absolutely. Spam. Of course, as soon as I saw the word spam in the back of my head, I could hear the Monty Python song. Thanks, you're welcome. Hello, just got here, was setting up the wife's new TV. Let's see. In TV, what chart indicators do you use to get the yellow pattern line? Oh, okay. So in TradingView, so when I put these yellow lines, all I'm doing here is I'm just going over to my line tool and using a trend line. So I just do a trend line. I choose the color. I can make it any color I want. It can be orange, doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm just on the side panel. I'm just using line, like I said, line, trend line. And there's a whole bunch of other different lines in here that you can use, but that's the one I use. I find it works. It does everything I need it to do. Whoops, there we go. Let's get rid of those trend lines. But yeah, I'm using trend lines. Marina is in the house. Hi, Candace and all. I started a swing trade on IVM at $16.95. Where would you set the stop loss? All right, let's go back to IVN. So you got in at $16.95. All right, so you basically started your trade right about here. So right about here. Oh gosh. Here's the interesting thing. So in the channel that we're in right now, so I wouldn't start, I personally wouldn't start a trade this high to the top of the channel, only because there's a good chance it can turn around and come back down. So there may be a lot of better opportunities. Now, if it breaks out, and this is kind of where I charted this line, if it breaks out, you could be in a very good position. That's what I like. I like the fact that, I said there's a good chance it could break out, and I think that's a strong possibility. And I'm just going to close this up a little bit. Because we're in a descending. I think it can break out. Not to say it'll stay up there long, but I think it has that possibility. So if we have a good day for gold, we might get a breakout. In which case, I would probably, well, if it starts breaking out, and this is kind of the thing. So as soon as it's broken this line, so at this point right now, you're pretty close to where I would, if I had gotten in down here, I would have had a stop loss go. I probably would already have a stop loss. So I would take a look and see what happens once we get into the trading on Tuesday. So sort of take a look and see if it starts going up. I would get a stop loss in, fairly just enough to preserve what I have. I wouldn't get too close, and I'm guilty of this, Marina. I get too close all the time because I see the profits and I'm like, I just want to get a little bit closer. Because, normally things will go up and down as they're moving up. So I wouldn't get too close with this one if it starts to break out. So maybe, let's say you get a stop loss in. Let's say you got one in around 725 to start. So if you got a stop loss in at 725, I would do that when the price is around, I would say 1750. And then just sort of ride that up. So by the time it gets to 18, you'll have one at 1775. And as it gets higher along here, so if it gets up to 1850 at that point, I'm getting closer. I'm coming in at like 1840, because I know that it doesn't have that much more, and it could turn at any time. So I would rather get closer once it's gotten a little bit of room. So and then if it actually does get up to like 1950, I know it's getting ready to turn around. I know we're kind of at the top of where it should have gone. It might go higher, but I would be at about 1945 at that point. I'd be like, next little swing down, it's going to hit me, but that's fine. I'm getting my profit. So I do shorten the distance as it moves higher and higher when I look at where I think it's going, and that kind of makes sense for me. All right, let's see. Maybe there are other Ottawa people on here. Lowell Green passed away at age 89, longtime CFRA radio host. I have heard the name. I've heard the name. I don't know him particularly well, but I have heard the name. But I don't listen to a lot of radio. I listen to most of the stuff I listen to is on the internet. Let's see. WCM looks awesome here. I like to see awesome companies when they're down. Yeah, I like WCN. King of Day, I saw one of the ads and I was like, oh boy, Candace made it. Well, not so, I wouldn't say I'm there yet, but yeah, it's funny. I have not yet seen it pop up. That'll be kind of weird, but it'll happen, I guess. Steve says, I listened to Lowell, didn't know he was that old. 9-point ads pointing to the video you did. Is that on your channel? Yeah. Those videos are on my channel. So basically, yeah, the ads pull from my channel. So I basically get a view when I guess they come up, but I don't make anything on it. So kind of different. Like if you watch it on my station, on my channel, I get the AdSense for it. And if you watch it as an ad on somebody else, it just gets viewed. I get the view, but I don't get any AdSense because, well, it's an ad. There is no AdSense. They're paying to put that on other people's video because, they're not paying to try to get you to come to my channel. They're paying to get you to look at their ETF. That's kind of the thing. Like I honestly, when they asked me if they could, what they could do, if they could put it on their site and that, I was just like, yeah, do whatever you want with it. Cause it's still exposure. So that's kind of cool. Now, I don't know. Now that's the interesting thing. I don't know if there is a link on that ad that would take you back to my channel though. I need to run into me. That's funny. I need to run into myself and then we'll figure that out. But, oh well. Lance says markets are closed tomorrow, but I think COMEX still opens tonight. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. Manual yellow lines. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, TFSA. Well, yeah, I mean, just we'll get to you in a second there, Paul. Yeah, because if I want to be able to chart where where my resistances are. So I wouldn't want them to do it any other way. I like having that manual control. Paul, so TFSA that I started adding to again had the Tesla CDR and the Harvest Tesla, sold Tesla and bought the following CDRs: NVIDIA, Palantir, Amazon. Then I meant to buy the Broadcom CDR, but I bought Harvest Avgy in error. AVGY. Yeah, that happens. Sometimes yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I bought the wrong one before, but I've had situations where I went to buy and I accidentally sold, and I was like, no. Especially if you're down, right? And you didn't mean to sell. All right. Let's see. Pierre says, I plan to eventually add more. I plan to eventually add a stable. All right. I think let me try this again. I plan to eventually add a stable income ETF like HDIV or HYLD to add diversity to my income portfolio. Since HDIV is on the highs now, would it be wise to add it or better wait for a pullback? I think HDIV is a good one, just a dollar cost average, to be honest. You could wait for a pullback, but it's a very solid fund. And some of the ETFs that they have aren't even covered calls. That's one of the reasons that they've had a lot of stability. So they've had some, like I think one of their financial ETFs is not a covered call ETF, and that provides full upside. So you're getting a lot more upside. That's one of the reasons that HDIV is such a good ETF when it comes to growth income investing, because it's got it. It's got the growth. It's got the income. Ian says, I saw the same John Oliver video. This stuff is all over YouTube now. Yeah, it's getting out of control. It's getting out of, I know YouTube is trying to crack down on it, but oh boy, it has absolutely gotten out of control for sure. Prairie, our favorite railroad. CNR has had a nice recovery since the beginning of February. Yeah, absolutely. Here, let's pull this up. Yeah, CNR is actually, they're finally back. They're finally back in the green in the 0 to 100K, which I like. But yeah, pull up the 1 year and you can sort of see. Look at this. This here is just this month right here. So they've had a nice big move to the upside. Let's hope they can stay, because I mean they did it here as well. And then then things went downhill. But right now they don't have any big negative stimulus on it. So I certainly would like to see them stay and keep those gains this time. Tom says, when you use your channels, what time frame do you usually go with? I use 1 hour candles, because I find that the 1 hour candles, they give me enough distance that I'm not looking at a very long swing. So I want, ideally, and here, if you look here, ideally, if I get in here on Thursday the 5th, I could be out here by Tuesday. Chances are I'll probably be out on Monday. So, a trade might go a week, and sometimes it won't. It really depends on where I get in. But yeah, I like to keep my time frames fairly short, because these trades are designed to be shorter. Sometimes I get stuck in longer trades. I don't like that. I prefer to have a trade that ends within a day, within maybe I don't mind a same day trade, but definitely a couple of days, maybe a week max if if it drags out a bit. All right. And Andy says, thanks to Monty Python, I can never take the sound of horse trotting seriously. Ah, yes. Holy Grail, using the coconuts. How about elderberries? Yep. Those are the older ones. IVN stop loss is too soon to put on it. They might have to wait till it goes up more of a bit. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to put it in right away. You have to let it go up a bit for sure. Absolutely. Bonanza. He play on that show. Bonanza. Yeah, that's old. Wasn't that like black and white, or at least started black and white? Paul, let's see. The trailing stop loss has 2 numbers to put that are not the actual price. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had to fill out a trailing stop loss, because I wish I had one. But even on mine, when I'm doing just a stop loss, I usually will put in I usually get the opportunity to put in a range. So I'll put in where I want it to trigger, and then I'll also put in where I want it to not trigger. So basically, if I put in a stop loss, so let's say I want a stop loss at $10, but I might say I'll also put in my limit. My limit is how low I'm willing to go. So I might put in $10, or sorry, if I got $10 and then I go $9.95, that means if it drops really fast, it's only going to sell during that 5-cent window. If it gets below the limit, it won't sell. It'll stop selling. And that can happen for a couple of reasons. One, if it's a lot of shares, maybe there wasn't enough buyers. Maybe you're only able to sell about 100 as you move through. Or maybe it moved so fast it just didn't have time to execute. That is a possibility. So sometimes if I really, really want to sell, I will usually create a bigger limit. So I might do a whole 10-cent limit in a case like that. That way there, chances are it's very rare that it ever makes it through the 10 cents without going off. And the other thing too to keep in mind, and I'll point this here out. Here, let me just grab the whiteboard for a second. So you will have a price. So in this case here, we got $10. So $10 is the price, but you'll have your bid ask down below. Now your bid ask, it might say this. It might say maybe it's $9.98 slash $9.99. Because sometimes it'll be that way. And even though that's 10 and you're buying it right now, you're buying it at $9.99, even though it is listed at 10. That's the way it works. Now, this is the number your stop loss is looking at. So you can have a situation where you have your $10, but the price starts falling and that 10 doesn't change right away. And you might have let's just go 985 slash, and we'll say normally if it's falling like that, you've got a bit of a discrepancy between the bid ask. It might be let's say 990. Now, if you have a stop loss set for 995, guess what? Even though you're now down at 990, and actually if you sold it 985, it's not triggering. And the reason it's not triggering is because of the fact that the price is still listed high, because it just hasn't updated. So now when this does update, if this were to update from that to, let's just say we'll go all the way down to 985. Let's just say it does a quick update and it bounces. Guess what this has done? This has created a slight gap, at least when it comes to your stop loss, and your stop loss will never get triggered. It'll make it past it. That's one of the reasons I will go with, I will tend to go with a larger one if I really want to sell it. So for example, if I'm coming towards the weekend and I don't want to hold that asset over the weekend and I'm up, I'll put in a stop loss that's a little bit bigger so that there's no chance of it jumping across it. And then, of course, as I get closer to, if I'm doing a market close, I'll just come in and I'll manually sell it just before the market close. But that's just how that's the way I do it. All right. Wahipple, HDIV is really grindy on pullback days. It doesn't move down a lot. Yeah, and that's one of the nice things I like about HDIV. HDIV is pretty resilient. Now, you also got to look. I mean, HDIV has a lot of good sectors within it. So it's got good exposure to financials. It's got good exposure to materials. Those two things alone can sometimes hold it up, even if everything else is falling a little bit. Paul said, watched pensions town hall presentation, non-index plan, but they are allowed to do ad hoc increase up to CPI, getting a 1.85% increase April 1st. Those retired before 2022 are getting an extra 4.5%. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. The pension went back in time for years. They didn't max out CPI increases and gave the extra. Oh, that's good. And gave the extra increase to advantage of post-CPI not used fully for the ones before 2022. All right, and let's see, pension, 137% fully funded, 1,400 working members with 9,500 retired collecting pension. Okay, very cool. All right, Michael, we're back to Tiger again. Can you look how the growth's been doing on Tiger on December 4th? That has the upgrade to by city by 1750, and then the rest are to 14. That gets paid by each sell and buy trades. Yeah, we were looking at Tiger the other day, multiple days. We'll go back. TIGR, Tiger, which is a Tiger Gold Corp. There we go. Now this is, for one, it's a penny stock. It is a penny stock, but it's new. I'll say that as well. It is definitely new. It's one of these things, like, I don't like it when I don't have a lot of information, and I have very little. Like, even when I go into the back end, I don't have anything. I don't have a return on equity, return on assets. A lot of these take time to actually, well, for one, we need to have some earnings reports to be able to start pulling some of this data. So that's part of the issue I have with this. But nonetheless, so far, and we'll pull up the 3-month here. They've done okay. They've done okay so far. Are they profitable? I don't know. I don't have that information yet. So it's kind of one of these things. Like with this one, I just don't have a lot of information. Oh. Tiger trades at, all right. So it's not Tiger. All right, you must be, it's probably a US one. All right, let's see here. Yeah, all right, here we go. Yeah, Michael, that happens. That happens. All right, I tend to jump on the Canadian first. All right, so let's pull this one up. All right, so this one is UP FinTech Holding Company, and I don't know a lot about them. So I'm coming in kind of empty on this one. But I know you talk about it a lot. Yeah, look at this. It's definitely, I mean, they definitely have a lot of volatility. We definitely have a lot of volatility for sure. And let's see here. Let's see if I got anything here. Well, let's look at the back end here for a second. This one also has no information. I don't like it when that happens. You know what? I'm going to have to pull this one up in Yahoo Finance. There's just, I got no data. I've got no data here. Where is Yahoo Finance? Here we are. TIGR. Let's go to Yahoo Finance. See if we can get a bit more information here. All right. Now, the nice thing here, I guess, Michael, is that analysts are actually expecting this thing to go up a bit. Like right now, I've seen the 1 year target 1457, so that could be interesting. But let me just see if we have any data down here. All right, now we got some data. This is what I wanted to see. So their debt to equity ratio 21.27%. Fantastic. That's not that bad. All right. Okay. Now here's what I want. This is the things I need to see. Return on equity, 22.70%. I like that a lot. I like anytime your return on equity is above 20%. I like that. That's usually a good reflection that they can pay. They also have a really good profit margin, 31.40%. So that's not too shabby. Now, here is the thing. What exactly? Now, this is a fintech company. So, okay, it looks like they're a holding company, I think. I think they're a holding company. All right. All right, cool. Yeah, so I like the company. I like the back end. So that's, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It could, there's some potential there. There's definitely some potential there. Their debt is fine. Return on equity is looking good. So yeah, there is definitely some potential there for sure. All right, now I have to back up. Because I don't want to skip over CISO. Hi Candace, my favorite is HYLD. Yes, I do like HYLD. And we haven't looked at HYLD in a while. Well, probably in a week. HYLD. Here we go. They actually had half decent day. They had a half decent day on Friday. They were up a little bit, not a lot, like 0.25%. But you know what? We take what we can get. And as you can see, the last year since Liberation Day, they've been doing pretty good. There's been a little bit of a pullback, but the U.S. market has definitely suffered. HYLD has followed suit a little bit, but for the most part, though, not that bad. They haven't actually suffered as bad as you might expect. So HYLD, I think they've done solid in this pullback. And I like the fact that they have, Hamilton keeps on changing HYLD. And somebody complained in one of my comments about that. They're like, oh, they keep changing this fund. I don't know. I have no faith in this fund. I'm like, well, yeah, but the changes they've made have all been improvements. So the first change, obviously, when they first rolled out this fund, they were holding US ETFs, a whole bunch of them. And the problem is they had no control over those ETFs, so that they really couldn't cater them to what the fund needed them to be. So Hamilton made their own versions of all of those ETFs, put them in HYLD, got rid of all the US ones. That was their first big change. That was a really good move. Then the next big change came. They got rid of some of their fixed income, some of the bond ones, and they put in the day max just to sort of boost up that income a little bit. Another good move. So yeah, they've made some good moves. I think that they're a solid fund. Will they make more changes? Maybe, maybe. I mean, that's what a managed fund is all about, right? If something's not working, you change it. And I think that's made them, like, I think right now, when we move into the next bear market, this fund's going to be stronger in the next bear market than they were in the last one. So the last bear market, oh gosh, they struggled quite a bit, but that was because they were holding all of those U.S. ETFs opposed to their own. All right. Andy says, "What's this video all over the internet?" I think it's the John Oliver video. And here, I'll see if I can find it. Let's take a gander here. We got YouTube. Why not? Where is my YouTube? Over here. Yeah, we got the. Let's just type in John Oliver and see if it comes up. But let's see. Trump and Einstein and Epstein. This no, this is last week tonight. I'm just seeing if that one. Let's see. No, these are all legitimate ones. These ones here are all legitimate. Although, let's see, really American. Yeah, there was this really weird one that came up, and it was kind of, what was it? It was, I think it was called the John Oliver Experience or the John Oliver something. Huh. Let's see. I'm going to just put the John Oliver Experience. I can't remember what the channel name was. And it may have already been pulled down, the one I was looking at. Yeah, it looks like it's gone. Looks like it's gone. Or at least if it's not. I wonder, wait a minute. You know what? Duh. Let's go to the history, because I would have, it should be in the history, because even if it auto plays, I think it shows up in the history. There was the Muppet Show. Yes, we watched the Muppet Show. Actually, that wasn't the show that we watched, but we actually watched the Muppet Show last night. It was kind of funny. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. It might have also been, I also have a personal YouTube as well that I use for when I'm just watching complete crap. Though, when you look at this, you might say, what's the difference? This is complete crap too. Yeah, it wasn't that far away. So it might have been on my other channel. Darn it. Yeah, but oh well. What can I say? I don't know. All right. Let's stop messing around in YouTube. Paul says, when you say tiger, I hear giant tiger stores that are not in BC. Yeah. I think we still have a giant tiger here. I'm not 100% sure. What's the shortest time frame you'd go by for a swing trade in a TFSA? If I'm doing a trade in a TFSA, obviously I want longer trades, so more than a month. That doesn't mean I would use 1 month candles. I would probably use 4-hour candles. That would give me a nice longer trade, and then I would chart on that to see if there was something that maybe I want to get in on. But as I said, if you are doing a swing trade in your TFSA, make it a long one. You do not want to get in trouble with the CRA. And quite honestly, it's probably just better to do it outside of your TFSA. But, and don't even look, this is the way I look at it. Like, everything is a swing trade, one way or another. Anytime you sell something, obviously you're making some kind of a movement. So that's kind of a swing trade, but if you're doing it intentional in a shorter frame, you just definitely don't want it in your TFSA. Let's see, think they're talking Tiger trading platform, Aussie one. Tiger is a brokerage in Hong Kong that has so many new accounts since December 04. Okay, so it's not the fintech company? Then I don't know. I have no clue what you're talking about then. No, it was a fintech, because you told me, you quoted me a price, and I thought the price matched. I don't know anymore, Michael. I'm lost on this Tiger thing. Let's see, Paul says, +8 BC lower mainland with Ottawa -7. If they say no snow here, it will be the first time since 82, 83. Wow. Yeah, I think I think we're getting a little bit of snow here tonight. Not much, like a couple centimeters, I think, but I could be wrong. Let's see, we need an HHIS without the speculative ETF. So you basically, you want like MSTE removed, probably Coinbase, I'm thinking. PEG's PE is 8.01 that pays a 12 cents dividend each quarter that has many upgrades to 14 that I think buying at 10 or 9 should be a rebound up. That would be support. Ah, interesting. I do not know. I'm not familiar with PEGs. Let's, we'll take a quick gander. We'll take a quick gander, see if, see what you're getting me into this time, Michael. PEGs, all right. Or maybe is it PEG? Is it the automotive company? I think that's what you were talking about. So Penske Automotive Group. Interesting. Now, yeah, a little bit of volatility in there. So automotive, that's kind of one of those ones that I worry a little bit because between the tariffs and some of the issues with moving stuff back and forth from Canada to the U.S., I always worry that could impact the automotive sector, and it will. It would definitely will. So they've got a lot of volatility here. Let me see here. Well, they got a good amount of debt, but it's manageable. It's a 69% debt to equity. Return on equity 17.30. So that's not bad. That's not too bad. They've definitely had some volatility for sure though. So just when we look at it, I'm going to go to the 3-year. See if we can get even on the 3-year. This definitely seems to be a volatile company. So what can I say? What can I say? Yeah, I mean, this could be a good one for long-term swing trading, actually. I mean, with that volatility. I'm afraid Cathie Wood has scared me away from managed funds. Cathie Wood. Yeah, I mean, I can understand. The problem is, Cathie, oh, she likes to sell her funds, and she will stretch the truth a little bit. I don't think she's lying, but she tends to take very, very liberal projections on where she thinks some of her funds are going. Like Tesla's going to this price, Bitcoin's going to this price. So it's hard to take her seriously when her projections are wrong so much. But keep in mind, she's just one fund. Those are the ARC ones. Just because there's one person selling, or maybe not selling in, I would call, I don't want to say anything bad about her, but it's just hard to take her as a credible opinionator. Her opinion's not super credible. That doesn't mean that everybody's that way. In fact, especially if you look on the Canadian side, I find a lot of the Canadian funds, if you talk to the people who are in it, talk to the fund managers, talk to anybody associated with it, they're a lot more down to earth, a lot more realistic. And I think as well, legally, I think the Canadian regulators tend to force them to be that way a lot more than the U.S. regulators. So I think that tends to be a good thing when you're looking at some of the Canadian companies for sure. All right, Scott, El Tiger Gigante on the Spanish stock market. Okay. Moonlight says, joining late, Candace, do you think we're in for a big, long market crash? No, I don't. As I was mentioning this week, we don't have a lot of things. There's some, there's the PCE coming out on Friday, but for the most part, there's a good chance we could see a green market on Tuesday when we reopen, and we could even have a half decent, less volatile market, at least the first 3 days, and then depending on what's happening with that PCE. Now, mind you, when I say that, that's what we're seeing for catalysts. I don't know, a certain president could always rattle something up. Sometimes he does, but I'm hoping he has a relaxing week. you know, fine, maybe watch the construction of the ballroom instead of messing with with everybody else. Okay. Let's see. Hood and Tiger are the same brokerage that are platforms that you're right, but earnings are growing and all that is matter. Okay. Perfect. I got the tiger by the tail. Did S-Day get added to HYLD? S-Day total return is 0.04% since inception. Should be dragging HYLD down. I believe S-Day was added. S-Day, Q-Day. I think even C-Day is in there. I think. Let me double check. I thought C-Day was in there. Do I have them yet in here? I do not. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to add them this time. HYLD. Here we go. Let's pull it up. Here we go. All right. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's S-Day. Let's see here. I thought, and there's Q-Day. I thought we had, no, I guess we don't have C-Day in here. No, we just have S-Day and Q-Day. Both of these are in here. Now, S-Day, I mean, and S-Day is not a huge one. I mean, we're looking at 7.4%. QMax is their big one in here. So you're basically, well, that's tech. And SMAX, of course, that's your U.S. equity. But yeah, all right, now that we're here, let's drag this in here. HYLD. I need to start doing that. That way there I can actually see what it is when I click on this. Perfect. What is this one here? I don't know what this one is here. Let's go back here and let's take a look. Oh, this is mix. All right, perfect. I think I can, whoops. I might have to go to an edit mode, but anyway. Put a tiger in your tank. That shows my age. I've never heard that. I've never heard put a tiger in your tank. Is that part of eeny, meeny, miny, mo? I don't know. Our new dog from Mexico might not see snow this year. Oh, nice. Speaking of Mexico, Canada is actually sending a trade delegation down there to see if we can get some more trade with Mexico. So definitely a good idea. I like the idea of diversifying away from the United States. Is your dog blind? No, there's no. They haven't had snow yet. It's not that the dog is blind. There just hasn't been snow. Michael says the world market's been selling off that need to find supports on companies like on pegs to buy the dip. That dividend rebound much better than the companies has no dividend. Yeah, like we've been getting there's been a bit of a sell-off for sure, especially in technology, a lot of the AI stuff, as we've talked about over and over again. We will get to a point where people stop worrying about AI, but we're not there yet. Hopefully soon. But I guess the problem is because AI keeps advancing so fast, it's like we keep throwing fire on that fuel on that fire. I was going to say fire on the water, but no, fuel on the fire. Path says a friend of my family used to work for Penske in the pits. Ooh, nice. Yeah, and Paul's like, no, it doesn't snow. The whole market been selling off in tech. What I'm hearing, so many calling for a crash. It's not necessarily. I mean, the thing you have to realize is that, and I think tech is prepared for what's happening. Now, the area that I think I'd be more concerned is not tech in general, but software. I think a lot of software companies are going to struggle a lot more before this is done. But yeah. Moonlight, thank goodness. I keep seeing YouTubers saying bad things are coming. Yep. And you know why they say that, Moonlight? Because those get the clicks. Quite literally, if I had named this live stream, the market is done. If I had named it like that, right now we got 66 people in here, we'd have 166 people in here. That's just the reality. But I'm not going to do that. if I don't think the market is done, I'm not going to name my video that. I just won't do it. I'm sorry. I have integrity. And not to say that they all don't have integrity. I'm just saying sometimes it's maybe it's a business decision. It's like, you know what? If I create a doom and gloom thumbnail, or or I make some big claims, it's going to give me the clicks. I'm going to get more AdSense. I'll have more money. Well, yeah, that's true, but after a while, you can only cry wolf so many times before the villagers stop coming. So I look at it that way. S-Day in YHYLD and C-Day is in HDiv. Yeah. Yeah, and HDiv actually, I think HDiv does have a little bit of Q-Day in there as well. So, and well, heck, let's just take a look. I could have swore that there was a little bit of Q-Day, and maybe, I don't know about S-Day, but there's definitely some Q-Day, I'm pretty sure. HDiv. All right, let's go. Here we go. Even though it's a Canadian, like, you do get a little bit of US exposure in here. Let's take it down here and see. So yeah, here we are. Well, yeah, like, you're actually getting more. So let's see here. Here's C-Day. Yeah, here's Q-Day right here. Q-Day. And you're also getting more through RMAX. RMAX is 50% US REITs. So you are getting that as well. But here's one of them up here. So you'll notice here the biggest component of HFIN, of HDiv is HFIN. And this here's your Hamilton Enhanced Canadian Financials ETF. So 20.4%. That does not have covered calls on it. So that one, you are getting 100% of all upside potential on that one. So that's definitely, that's the one. That's the big one in there. So kind of cool. All right. Now, have you ever heard of Data Roma? No, I have not. Is it, let's just, I'll Google it. Let's Google it. Is it, I don't know if it's a company or not, or if it's something. Data Roma. Oh, no, it is a company. Data Roma. Invest alongside super investors. Track stock picks and portfolios of legendary value investors such as Warren Buffett. Okay. I think I've heard of this. I just didn't know what its name was. Interesting. It was a slogan used by Esso a while back. Tiger in tank, is that Esso? There we go. All right. Thank you for your integrity, Candace. We appreciate it. Like number 65. Nice. Are we only at 65? Oh, well. Yeah, it's you know what? It's a long weekend. On a long weekend like this, my numbers are going to be a little lower, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, 65. Nice. Andy says integrity is why this is the only membership I have joined. All right. Well, there we go. It pays to be honest, I guess. I like it. I like it. All right. Holy banana bread, guys. Oh, this is good. But yeah, that's what we do. Now, oh, what was I going to say? Oh, so coming up, it's kind of interesting. I'm slowly getting ahead when it comes on the video list. So we do have. Actually, we've got. I think you guys are going to like the next video. So the Tuesday video, although channel members will be able to watch it tomorrow on Family Day. We're actually going to look at, it's a list, got back to a list of video. These are going to be some really good options for growth income investing. So these are all some really nice ETFs. So we're going to have 5 of them. And I threw in a bonus. I threw in a 6th bonus. So that'll be coming out either tomorrow or Tuesday. So tomorrow for the community members, Tuesday, of course, for everybody else. And then after that, as I said, CWIN. So a deep dive on CWIN, that's coming out on Friday. Oh, this is going to be a good week. And so far we got market closes on Tuesday and Wednesday. And, guys will have the options to add Thursday and Friday. And we have the big 10,000 celebration show on Wednesday. So 10,000 seconds. Oh boy, that's going to be long. So yeah. it's going to be pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end. We don't have to be at the end. But if you got your last minute questions, get them on in because we got about, we normally go about 2.5 hours. We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. So if you got your questions, throw them in quickly and, we'll answer them. We'll answer them. I'll go big screen here while I have some coffee. Very good. Let's see. Datarama basically just shows what they've invested in, but it's cool. Yeah, absolutely. There are, I mean, I think, I don't know if I'm right on this, but I thought there was an ETF that just basically invested in Warren Buffett's investments. Well, if you buy Berkshire, if you invest in Berkshire, that's kind of like an ETF that invests in Warren Buffett's. But I thought there was a Warren Buffett ETF. Let's just take a look and see. I thought I saw one once. Warren Buffett ETF. Let me see. Warren Buffett ETF. Is there a Warren? 3 ETFs Warren Buffett is quietly keeping. Nope. That's not what I... maybe not. I thought there was. I know that there was a Jim Cramer one. Basically, it was every I think it was an inverse ETF that everything that Jim Cramer recommended, it it basically went the opposite. Scott says Buff ETF. All right, let's take a look at that. Whoops. Let's see. Is there a Buffett ETF? Buffett lunch. Oh boy, that's hilarious. Let's just take a look. Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Well, yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. You know what? Let's just go back here to. What am I looking for? I am actually looking for. I have way too many pages open. There we are. I'll try Buff here. There is a Buff ETF. It's called the Buffalo Potash Company. Let's take a look, guys. I've never heard of this before. The Buffalo Potash Company, they had a good day on Friday. They were up 2.899%. It's a penny stock, though. It's a penny. Yeah, it's a brand new penny stock. But they're actually they're down from where they launched. All right, the Buffalo. Who knows? Wow. Was wordplay. Share is doing awesome. Yes. And we've looked at this. So this is the wheelchair company. They basically turn regular wheelchairs into powered wheelchairs. Here we go. Share right here. Oh, look at this. Up again, another 9.09%. Holy banana bread. Just in the last, this is the 3-month chart. They've been doing this. So 1.92. So they're kind of starting to move away from being a penny stock. I still call them penny adjacent. I look at it this way, and when I say a penny adjacent is if you're close to like if you're under $5 and you've been under $1 in the last year, then you're penny adjacent. So, once if it stayed at 192 for a full year, I wouldn't call them, I'd be okay with them. I mean, look at Div. All right. Andy says Walmart reports this week. Always a good gauge of things. Yeah. Walmart's kind of interesting. And let's actually take a look here. Give me a second here. Walmart. All right. WMT. All right. Here we go. So, all right. Let's pull this up and let's pull up the 1 year. Now, here's the beautiful thing. So this is Q4 that they're reporting. So Q4 ends here, and it starts about here, right here. So basically, it's this little bit in here. They actually did okay during that lead up to Christmas. So now the question is, and this is kind of one of those things, is how well did they do the previous Christmas? So that's always something to sort of keep in mind. But they did okay. I I'm hoping Walmart has some good earnings here. Like I think there's a good chance that they could end up green, so exceeding expectations, exceeding revenue. But the forward guidance is the thing that gets things. Now, luckily, they're not a software company, so they won't have the AI drag down. But it would be nice. It would be nice to see Walmart get off to a good start this week and sort of help spill over a bit into the market too. That's what I'd like to see. I want to see that spillover. Is there a Monish Paprika one? I don't know what that is. Um, I have no clue if that's a company or if it's a spice. Let's try this again. Monish. Let's see. I'm not getting anything there. Paprika. I get nothing. Pathfinder. What the heck is... All right. Now, I feel like I'm probably being really naive and having no clue what you've just asked me. So I'm going to Google this. I may regret it afterwards. I don't know. Monish Paprai. Oh, wait. Oh, it's a person. Oh, it's a person. Okay, it's not a stock. Oh, is there a Monish? Oh, you're looking for an ETF for Monish. Ah. Okay. Good question. That I don't know. But now I know who Monish is. That's funny. No, I think this is the right guy because it's MOHN, but it's probably just a missed H. All right. A BRK is the Berkshire ETF. I don't know about a Buffett ETF. Moonlight says, have you heard of F-Sly? Did well on Friday. Do you see long-term growth? F-Sly. I do not know what F-Sly is. I don't think I've ever heard of them. Where the heck is my... There we are. That's because I got all this stuff here. Buffett. There we go. I'm going to close a few of these, all of these extra windows here. Then I can actually see the tab. All right. Well, what are we looking at? F-Sly. Let's take, oops. There, get rid of that. F-Sly. All right. Oh, Fastly. Yes, I've heard of Fastly. All right, look at this. Yeah, they had a good Friday, didn't they? They were up, what, 13.84%. Not too shabby. Oh, boy. This looks like something happened. It looks like it may be earnings. Maybe. Let's actually come over here and take a gander and see if we got earnings. FSLY. Fastly. All right, let's take a look. Fastly. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So earnings, oh boy, look at this. They beat their earnings by 116.23%. In addition to that, revenue, they beat by 6.97%. So yeah, that's why they went up. Yeah, big time. Oh, wow. It's nice to see. It's nice to see a tech company actually jumping like this. Now, I don't know exactly what they make. Let's just take a gander here. I'm kind of curious to know what they're doing. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. So let's see here. They help deliver online experiences that are fast, safe, and engaging through edge compute delivery, security, and observability offerings that improve site performance. Okay. And that's actually interesting. All right. I'm just taking a look. So it's mostly software, and software doing good. I like that. I like to see that. Hopefully this AI fear doesn't filter down to them, but looks like they're pretty immune to it for now. So there must be something unique about their experience that is not freaking out their investors. Have you seen this before, that pays a 18.2 dividend each month on golf? Golf. I don't know what golf is. Let's take a look at golf. All right, GOF. Golf is Guggenheim Strategic Opportunities Fund. Okay. All right. Interesting. So it's obviously some kind of a fund here. And let's see here. Yeah, 18.2 cents USD each month. Monthly dividend. Oh, look at the size of that yield. It's a 17.737%. Let's see. It's a closed-end management investment company. The company refers to the global asset management. So yeah, this is kind of like, it's not exactly, but it's a little bit like Canoe in that sense, where you've got a closed-end fund. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's see here. How long have they been doing this for? I'm looking at oh, they've been doing this for a while. So now I think I still like Canoe a little better. I think the fact that they're paying as much as they are when it comes to their dividend, I think that's certainly muting their growth even more. But yeah, it's an interesting company. I think I would still stick to Canoe though. Let's see. I'm sitting on a bunch of Walmart, looking forward to some good news this week. I'm hoping so. Oh, Propel Holdings. What are your thoughts on Propel? Let's pull up. Now, one of the good things is that I am expecting energy to have a better year this year than last, which is good. Now, Propel, they've got a little bit of a dividend, so almost like 3.5. It's it's good. It's a good dividend in this sector. I do like them. And let me just pull up the last year. So, they've had, and I'm going to pull up 3 years, because if you've missed this and you're just looking at this, you'll be like, what's going on here? But no, they've had a really good run up. They've had some volatility, but oil energy overall has struggled in the last year. And I think we're going to see some better, better times for Propel going ahead. So I do like them. All right. Wahibble, Buffalo Potash is a new potash mine. The claim staked. They just doing the first stage of the paperwork. Okay, there we go. Perfect. See, that was the first I ever heard of them. Just stumbled on them. But yeah, brand new, out of the gate. Have to see what we run into. Sometimes we stumble across gold. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a person. I got it. Yep. So the COMEX is open. Super investor. All right. There we go. I'm not showing the screen for FSL. Oh, dear God. There we go. This is no, this is not. This is Propel. All right. Let's go back to Fastly. Here's Fastly here. Sorry. Yeah, and we look at it from the 1 year perspective. There, you can see here. So yeah, this is that big jump, and that was because of earnings. And like I said, here was the earnings report here. So 116.23, surprise. So they absolutely, like I said, they absolutely owned it. And then 6.97, they beat on revenue. I am so sorry. I can't believe it. I can believe it. I do it all the time, right? Sorry, I'm a bad speller. Who needs reading glasses and the like? Yeah, no worry about it. I'm sure you've mentioned this, but what are your favorite Canadian ETFs for core holdings in a portfolio for 20 years before retirement? Let's see. I think I've got a few. So obviously, right now, and this can change, and I want to point this out because as ETFs evolve, we may get better options. But right now, one of my favorites, obviously, HDIV. I love HDIV. I think it's a great ETF for sure. And I think it's going to be good for the long haul. Also, HYLD. HYLD, I think now that they have fine-tuned it, they've fine-tuned it to the place where I definitely like it. Now, in addition to stuff like that, I also like non-ETF wise, like I still love Canoe. Canoe is just so reliable, so such a good little fund, and it acts like an ETF. So I do like Canoe as well. And I'm really big time right now. If I'm looking at the next 20 years, I'm really starting to look at things like And these, and guys, and just and give you an idea, Moonlight, a lot of the ones I've mentioned are, there's some income in there. There's definitely income in there. If I was looking at, ones that I think would be really good that don't have income, if I want to really get in on the growth, uh, I'm very, very bullish for the next while on materials. So I would even look at something like an XMA. So that's your iShares materials. I think that's going to do fantastic probably over the next 5 years and beyond, perhaps. So that might be one for growth, because you did mention 20 years. So 20 years, you don't necessarily need them all to be income portfolios. But I think HDIV is really good because you're getting both that growth and you're getting that income. So that makes it kind of cool. And it is nice to receive dividends. Um, and if you want hands off, there's a lot of things too. Like XEQT is good because you're getting that exposure. You're not going to get a lot of income from it, but that's where you're going to get your growth. You can get exposure like to the entire world. And it doesn't even have to be XEQT. You could go with VEQT or FEQT if you want a little bit of crypto in there as well. There's a whole bunch of different options for sure. All right, Scratch is in the house. AMR is a beast at destroying shares. They went from $2 a share in 2020 to $400 a share in 2024. This company is a beast. AMR. I feel like we've looked at them recently, but doesn't hurt to look again. AMR. So Alpha Metallurgical Resources. Here we go. So once again, I'm very bullish on this sector. So I have high expectations. Even if it's a U.S. company, I still have high expectations. So let's take a look here. I'll pull up the 5-year so you can get a bit of a better feel for them. So even 5 years ago, they were sitting at about $13. They have exploded. At one point, like look at this, they were up to 400 at one point. So they have, they've come back quite a bit, but they are on the uptick again. So yeah, there's a good chance in there. I do like it. Marina says, happy family day to the Banana Bread family and beyond. Thank you. Thank you. Pathfinder says, I think HME is going to have a big run soon. Hope anyway. Let's go. Let's take a look. HME. So here it is. Hemisphere Energy Corporation. So, and I know I'm pretty sure we've looked at these guys before. Maybe we haven't. If they're only 5, if they haven't been around that long, I'm just going to double check. No, they've been around longer. Okay. I was like, I know I've looked at these guys before. And that first picture, it was like, what? They just started, but they haven't. They've been around for a bit. Yeah, this is one that, like I said, I will not, I won't even call them a penny adjacent. They're low, but they haven't been a penny stock for more than a year. So they have been moving, they've had some momentum, and there's been a little bit of choppiness in energy, and we're seeing that here. But I do like that. They do have a dividend. It's not a big dividend. It's like, 4.6%. Looking at their back end, though, here is where they earn the bacon. Almost no debt, so 4% debt to equity ratio, and their return on equity, look at this, 39.64%. So I do like this one. I like this one quite a bit. So HME, nice little, I think this is a nice little energy company. Now, there's always the chance when you're looking at a smaller energy company in Canada that they get gobbled up by somebody. And that's not a bad thing. You usually will make a profit when a company eats the company that you're holding. So that could be an interesting thing. All right, Moonlight, thoughts on EOSE? EOSE, here we go. So EOS Energy Enterprises. All right, now let's take a look here. So this one here, they are a U.S. company. So we're talking U.S. energy. So I don't know a lot about them. I'll point that out right away. But I'm going to pull up the 3-year. So they've definitely made some positive moves. They've moved to a new plateau per se, because they used to be, well, gosh, 3 years ago they were borderline penny stock. So now they're sitting at a nice little spot here. Now, here's my question. I may have to move to Yahoo to get some information on this one. Let's just take a quick gander and see. I do, and I'll tell you. I don't like this number right here. Return on assets negative 722.01%. So I don't think that's right. I hope that's not right. So EOSE, let's go over to Yahoo. Where are you at, Yahoo? You're here somewhere. Oh, I may have accidentally, yeah, let's just pull up Yahoo Fresh. I think I accidentally loaded something on top of it. All right, now we're going to take a look here. Because I know sometimes the TMX site is sometimes not always accurate on some of this stuff. But, okay, oh boy. Well, yeah. So I'm just looking here. First of all, it's showing them as, yeah, this to me is looking like they may very well be, yeah, they're not profitable yet. So, or maybe they were at one point, but right now, return on assets negative 50.19. But here, their diluted earnings per share negative 8.31. So they're losing money. That is concerning. So that's a little bit of a flag for me. Now, on the bright side, you know, the analysts are at least predicting it's going up in the next year. So they're looking at 1612. That would be quite the move. That would be quite the move. Can they get there? Maybe. Now, with that being said, I do want to point out something here. Here, look at this, earnings date, February 26th. So this data that we're looking at, so this, some of this negative data here, like this negative 50.19, that is, that's Q3 data. So we haven't got Q4. Now, when we look at Bitcoin. No, we go back and we look here, and let's actually pull this up. This is something I always like to take into consideration. So when we pull this up here, so basically Q3 ended right here. So Q3 would have included this little bit, but a lot of this in here is not being included. Now, it does include some of the ramp up, so they may still not be profitable, but if I was considering investing in this company, one, I would wait for the next earnings report. It's coming out at the end of the month. I would wait for that report. I would compare the two. Are they moving in the right direction? I would be asking these are the questions I would say, you know, have they improved this? Are they getting closer to profitability? And then I would, of course, look a little deeper into the company. Like, what is their plans for profitability? Is there a reason why they're not profitable? Maybe they expanded. Maybe they did some really good things to, you know, to try to improve the company. So there might be some reasonings behind it. But at this point, I would definitely wait on this one. And, you know, I always like to ask one question, and is that, you know, are there safer bets? You know, and a lot of times the answer will be yes. And a lot of times if I have to ask that question, that in itself is kind of an answer. Okay. Are you comfortable in investing in Canadian energy? Sticking to Enbridge? Most of my Canadian, so I have two, I actually use two ETFs for my Canadian energy. One is XEG. This is my growth one. So this one here, this is your S&P TSX Capped Energy Index ETF. And here's what it's done over the last year. So in the last year, it's risen from 1744 to 2277. So this is my pure growth play. The other one, and this is an income play, ENCL. And over the last year on this one, it's up a little bit, but the thing is it's up quite a bit more when you add in all of the dividends. So this one is just for pure income. The other one is for pure growth. They kind of balance each other out because, well, you know, my style is you know, a growth income. So I want both sides, and I get both sides between these two. They do meet my energy needs. All right. HME CEO says he wants to get gobbled up eventually, and lots of insider buying and buybacks. Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of that thing that will happen, especially in the Canadian energy market. A lot of these little companies get eaten all the time. So it's something to always have in the back of your mind for sure. Thank you for your advice. Well, you're welcome. All right, guys, we've hit that 2 hour and 35-minute mark. That sounds like I think that's enough for a holiday weekend. We will, like I said, we'll be back. We won't, we won't be back tomorrow, but well, if you're a channel member, you'll have a video tomorrow. But we will be back on the market close on Tuesday. I will see you guys all then. Until then, I do have one thing I wanted to, actually two things I wanted to say before I go, and that is, well, bye-bye.